So I was wondering, you guys have seen the most generations. You guys have been around the longest in our family than everybody here. I was wondering what characteristics from the earliest times in our family that you guys can remember on either side that you've seen passed down to now. What familial characteristics have you found have carried through the times?
Oh, why don't you answer first? I have to think about it.
Well,
And actually, what things have gone away?
I think I got my interest in politics in that I saw quite a bit of it in my family. Most of the family were ardent Zionists, and that is that they were members of all kinds of organizations that were fighting for Israel to have their own homeland. I had an Aunt Ida who was a member of the ILGW, International Labor Garment Workers Union, and there was a Jewish newspaper called the Freiheit, and the translation of that is freedom, and she would march in front of she would strike in front of the place she would work. The family would talk about politics all the time, and I think that triggered my interest in politics.
Okay.
And following, the political scene.
So, Dad, do you think that's been, I think Isaac's question was, do you think that's been passed down through the rest of us, through your 3 kids and then the 4 grandkids? Is that right, Isaac? Was that your question?
Well, I think you've all known that I've been interested in the political scene, and I think you've all...
Well, not even necessarily if you've been interested. I was wondering, what are things that you think have been a characteristic specific to Balabans and has been, or not even specific to
like
Balabans.
Like eating dessert in the morning, Isaac?
Like eating dessert in the morning, exactly. Something like that. Or one thing that's like, for example, I would see... there's been a long line of social workers, and there's been a long line of people that want to work with people. And I was wondering if that's something that, why you maybe think that has come about. What do you think is specific to our family that makes us want to do things like that?
Well, working with people, being very tuned in to relationships with people, that has been my number one priority forever, and I think I've conveyed that to everybody in the family. I am very aware of relationships and how people feel, and tuned in to the nuances of relationships. And, there's no question that's how I chose my field, and that's how I live my life.
The question is, did your parents and grandparents have that quality as well?
Because I think my mom certainly has that quality, and I feel like that I would definitely think about the career in social work. So
I had a very large family, and it was a very close-knit family.
okay.
I was telling Kim last night, we would have seders with huge tables like that. And at the end of a meal, the men would get to the corner of the table and play poker. But there would be a lot of discussions about, relationships and how important that is, and that's always been my number one priority, that we be very tuned in to the needs of people and make every effort to meet those needs. And that's always been important to me, and I think I've conveyed that to my family. Have I not?
You have, yeah.
Yeah.
Nora?
Grandma?
I guess, I don't know that I got it from my family.
Not even necessarily that, but any. Oh, I'm sorry. Wait, continue.
Go ahead.
What were you gonna say?
I developed the importance of relationships with my children and with my grandchildren is different from what I got from my own family, although we were close. We kept contact with my mother's sisters and brother and with my father's family, which were very large. There were a lot of, we had a Seder once too in a great big hall, and we always got together. But I don't, the things that became important to me that I hope filtered down to this family might have come from my own experience, but I don't know. I veered off from them. Mm-hmm. They had very typical social concerns, and that I didn't accept. Mm-hmm. They had a different attitude toward people of color that offended me. And I don't know, I just had different ideas. So, and I wanted to be a teacher, even though my mother told me never be a teacher. And I wanted to be a teacher because I felt I could save the world, except I didn't do a very good job of saving the world.
Saving the world. It's a big job.
It's not in such great shape. So I don't think I've answered your question, but.
No, you did.